Aloha. Your friend has been taken to CERN. We had a few things we needed to show him. So, he will not be coming back anytime soon. We hope you understand. Can you see the bull in this painting? How about now? Or maybe a fish. Or birds. Birdie. Birdie. uh, Hope everybody's doing well. I'm kind of speechless at the moment, so I'm not sure why I'm making a video. If you're speechless, you probably don't need to make a video. But I can put speechless into words, so we'll go ahead and do one. But surely, if you're as awake as you think you are, then you know that love conquers all. So, you know the light prevails. You know the love prevails. And if you're a slightly next level of awake, you know that it's a done deal. If light prevails, if we were told the end at the beginning, so to speak. So we were told light prevails, but we awakened in a world where light wasn't prevailing. And so the duality got set up. And the brain literally split in half. So I know everybody has a different idea right now. Everybody's reconciling that split in half brain within themselves right now. So we could call it a healing of the mind, a mending of the mind. And along with that split of the brain, there was a split of the heart. So the heart was torn in two as well, or split into, or cracked. So if you can maintain that higher level of awakening, that slightly higher vibration of the knowing that love conquers all, then you know it's a done deal. A lot of people might interpret that to mean, well, that means you don't have to do anything. I mean, that really doesn't even make sense that you have to do anything, because you're always doing something. So you cannot cease from doing something. Now, if we really want to start some divisions, we could say, well, what is the something we're supposed to do? What is the something we're supposed to be doing? And then try to lay out a plan and then say, everybody should do this plan. But that's not how we co-create. We never have. Well, I shouldn't say we never have, but that's not the way we do it. You co-create by being present, right? And from your present position, you can lay out something of a plan, I suppose, right? From your present position. But what my plan and my present position may totally be the wrong thing for you where you're at. And so if you laid out that plan for your position, that wouldn't be a very good plan, perhaps. Right? So we have to discern from our present position what the doing is. And then we cannot say to the rest of humanity, you should do this, or you should be doing this, or you should be believing this. I can't wait until we're in 5D fully, and there's no more pushing of beliefs, trying to convince people they need to believe certain things, because we'll all just be back in our knowing, and we'll know. And from your present position, from your present moment awakened state, you know from there. So know from there. And see, if you were here where I am, my knowing from here knows that love conquers all. That light, if we got to use the word, win, we'll use it here. The light wins. But see, that's almost putting it in a future tense. It wins. Like, well, when does it wins? But it's already won. So now we're approaching a whole different world that you can step over into. Step into the world where light has already won, where love has already won. And so you might not know anything about that world. You may not be able to believe in that world. And I would say, don't believe in that world, but know that world. Find that world so that you can know that world. And right now, an invitation is going out to every single human being, or every being that's been human, or being human. And that brings up another good topic right there. Are we human beings, or have we been being human? We came from the spirit. We came from energy. We came from frequency. And let us say we had an ethereal body, which the religions called a spirit. So did the spirit become human? Well, in a way it did, I guess. It certainly integrated with one. Did the human then become spirit? Guess we could say it did. Guess we could say it did, right? If the spirit and the flesh integrated fully, and the consciousness of that integration was hovering above the mind of the avatar, then the two have become one. And so I think we're being invited back into the spirit world. And that doesn't mean, it doesn't have to mean out of the earth. To go into the spirit world, you must leave the earth world. Because we've merged everything. It's going to go into the how Earth has been contained, and so the virus has been, excuse me, contained upon the Earth. And there are, as I've said, multiple worlds on the Earth. I've now come to realize that some of what I was thinking was different dimensional worlds on this Earth are not. Not saying that there's not other dimensional worlds on this world, but what I'm saying is there's other worlds. If we looked at the Earth, right? Let's say the Earth is just a big ass city. It's a big ass city. There's other big ass cities on the greater world. See, we've only known this world the way that we've been shown and taught, which was wrong and deceitful. So we think we're on a blue marble floating in space or flying through space. I now know for sure, absolutely, there's no doubt in me whatsoever that that's not true. That's not true. But at the very same time, it still holds true that the Earth could be a ball shape. What I'm getting at here is that what we've thought of as the little blue marble, and that being Earth, is like a town or a city on a much, much, much bigger earth. And that there are towns just like Earth, cities just like Earth, but even bigger. Some of them, I would say, are bigger. Just right next door, neighbors. But see, with the cosmology we've been given, we would interpret that to mean another planet, perhaps, or another a star, something in space. So we have not grasped yet the magnitude of this 3D world that we're in. And all of this misunderstanding is getting unraveled collectively. And so that's really giving people highs and lows of emotional shifting, stress, anxiety, and all that will eventually, lead to further symptoms, which become anger, aggression, heavy projection, and all that. And that's what we can't get caught up in. That's where you get lost. That's where you'll get lost. So we have to avoid that. And like I said, I have no worries, no doubt. I have no doubt that love conquers all. I could say I have no doubt and then tell you a whole bunch of stuff pertaining to the present political landscape. But I mean, we're hearing that from like everywhere, right? It is bouncing around. So I don't want to bounce around the same old thoughts, because you're already bouncing with those thoughts and you're already probably right on the verge of, unsubscribing or giving me a like. And the same with everybody else that you're listening to or whatever. We want somebody to validate how we're feeling and what we're thinking about that. And there's tons of people out there that do and will. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It is what it is. But I'm trying to maintain us on a higher frequency and a higher perspective of all of this. And believe me, this view that I'm talking about is, I could almost say, overwhelmingly vast. Something so big, so amazing, so fantastic, so beyond anything we've known here in this world of illusions, deceit, and lies, that it's hard to even start to talk about it, because it's so vast. Like, where to start? Like, how do I even begin to try to show something of this magnitude to people? And many of them they're not even awake yet. They're on the path to awake. They're in the transition. They're on that bridge, right? You can't see everything from on the bridge. You're transitioning. So let yourself at least get across the bridge. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll realize, holy shit, this will turn the most stable of minds upside down. Or let's say flip it, because I don't want to say upside down, because that's the dupe in this realm. Everything's inverted. It's beautiful, my friends. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, the rotting compost came to mind. You don't realize, looking at that pile of rotting leaves and fruit and vegetable and whatever throwaway plant matter you put in that mulch pile. It looks like shit. If you were to describe it, you would say, oh, it looks like shit. It's very similar. But man, that mulch pile is going to break down into the most beautiful black gold you ever looked at, ever smelled, because good mulch does not stink. It smells earthy. It smells beautiful. It smells wonderful. And we could go out and look at my garden right now, and I can show you the results of what I'm talking about. It creates the most amazing things. So metaphorically, spiritually, you know, we're doing this right now. Everybody's doing this. We're throwing all the crap of our lives, of our minds, of our basements, of our hearts, of our flesh. We're throwing it all into our spiritual mulch pile, compost. And that's going to break down, and that's going to feed your soil. And you're going to get a boost of growth. And that boost of growth, see, if you don't have healthy plants, your plants aren't doing very well, you're not going to get good fruit. You may not get any fruit. You may get nothing but just sickly plants that are struggling just to live. But boy, if you get those plants some good natural feeding, and then those plants start to really thrive, then you're going to get some fruit that's going to blow your mind. You'll get some of those award-winning tomatoes and pumpkins that weigh 150 pounds. And that's abundance. That's a picture of abundance. Check my time. 22. So let's continue to mulch, man. Continue to go through that mind. Get every corner, sweep, clean, 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 man, clean. The more stuff you add to your spiritual compost pile, the bigger bounty you're going to have when that breaks down and feeds your co-creation. And so going through this process, doesn't maybe seem pleasant at all. It doesn't, you're like, man, the plants look so bad. In some cases, you may, maybe we just cut the whole plant off and throw the whole thing in the compost. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anything you throw in there, everything you throw in there is going to break down and come back to you. But see, if we've been doing the opposite, if we've been hanging on, let's say, I don't know if I can relate this to a damn garden or not, but let's say we've been hanging on to the sickly plants, and we've been hanging on to, all the leaves that are bad and even dead and dropped off, but they're laying around, and it's a cluttered, messy garden that's not doing well. So it has to be gone through. It has to be cleaned up, and all that refuse needs to be put somewhere where it's going to be valuable to you. See, if you just throw it all away and say, well, it's all just crappy dead stuff, I'm just going to toss it out and throw it away and let it blow away, whatever. You didn't recognize the value in it. So by recognizing the value, you put it where it belongs. Where does it belong? Where does all that dead stuff belong? It belongs in the compost pile. Now you've captured the value of what you thought was trash or a bad experience, or, maybe you have memories of stuff. And those memories keep effing with you from time to time. And you're not sure what to do. What do I do? I'm telling you right now, man, take those memories, those bad memories, those bad experiences, those bad judgments, any of the negativity, any of the darkness, any of the fear. Take it and put it in your spiritual compost pile, knowing that something's happening right there in that compost pile that is later going to be part of what brings abundant fruit into my reality, into my world. And that abundant fruit is a new world itself. Is a new world in and of itself. Kitty, can you I'm making a video. You guys only do this right now. Get going. You'll be in here in a little bit. Goofballs. Bunch of babies. I got a chihuahua laying over here. I got a chihuahua and 2 cats. Big bunch of babies. Always up to something. Anywho, friends, I guess I'm going to leave you with that for today. I was going to apologize for yesterday's video, but why would I apologize? Nobody wants to have their voice silenced. I mean, that's just annoying, stupid shit, I'm just speaking. I don't have a gun. I'm not out rallying a big... I better not go into all that, because then we're going to bring up that whole, those thoughts are just lingering right there on the periphery, are they not? In this climate. We must do whatever we do from the present moment, knowing our present position. So there's nothing to say about right or wrong actions. If you're acting consciously in your present position, then you're just going to know what to do. You know what I mean? You're going to know what to do, just like you do now if you're awake. If you're not awake, you're doing, but you don't even know what you're doing. You don't realize you're being mind controlled and led and indoctrinated and influenced. And NPCs are so shallow, they just quickly start repeating something they heard from, a Twitter or a this or a that or a news source or a celebrity or whatever. They're just so quick to just accept that as gospel within themselves and then start repeating it and virtue signaling with it. And to conscious people, it's, we've had enough of that. We're just tired of being around it. So I think that's why we're bailing out of here soon. And but where are we going when we bail out of here? Now I'm pretty positive we're bailing to the next, we're our neighbor. I say world, right next to us again, not meaning going into space. We're never going to leave terra firma to travel to the next world over. We're just on an island. We've been confined, and there's a much greater world all around us, meaning beyond our borders, beyond what we think of as our borders. And our borders are the Arctic Circle and, something of the North Pole. Beyond all that, there's vast landscape with worlds as big as Earth, or cities, towns as big as all the inhabitants of what we consider Earth. Anywho, love and light, guys. Happy Thanksgiving if you do that. And just, enjoy. Do some meditation, for sure. If you're a smoker, hit you a bowl, man, and just lay back and let this unravel or let this unfold. And do the inner work, though. See, while you're laying back, that's the beauty of this. You can do a whole hell of a lot of work laying back, if you will, while you're not out doing a bunch of physical running here, running there, chasing, and all that. It's sort of a downtime. So in the downtime, man, let the downtime be the uptime. As we move one step closer to the event, my beautiful friends and family. What happened? You have failed me. I don't know what to say, boss. As soon as we took him into the CERN building, the whole thing broke. Broke? Yeah, it broke. It broke.